Welcome inside the Trust Golf Women's Scottish Open press room. We are here with 2021 AIG Women's Open champion Anna Nordqvist. Anna played Evian last week. Solid showing, T22. How are you adjusting to the links conditions and get your brain ready for some more links golf?
I love Scotland and I love coming back here. Having a Scottish husband and a Scottish caddy certainly helps with it. But there's just something about the atmosphere here. I love coming back here and playing. It's nice to get some fresh air and a little bit cooler temperatures than we've had the last couple of months. But links golf is different and you get to adjust a little bit to the wind and the bounces and stuff like that. But I think there's just something about it that I just really love.
You just walked off the golf course here at Dundonald Links. What did you think of the conditions of the course?
The course is in really good shape. I said to my caddy, the more you play the course, the more you kind of figure it out. I wasn't here in 2017 when we were here before. So just played it for the first time yesterday and today. But yeah, just figuring out some of the lines of the tees and it's tough greens, a lot of slope like runoffs and a lot of slopes on the greens. And, depending on the wind, some of them might play really tough, but I think it's a fair test and I'm looking forward to the challenge this week.
You played, I was just like I said, played Evian last week, also slopey greens, but the grass types are a little bit different. There's a lot of poa in those greens. Is it nice to come out here and see some true rolls?
Yeah, I just didn't hole anything all week last week, so it was kind of nice to get away from those greens. Hopefully my putting is a little bit better than it was last week, but in general, like you have the wind and I feel like they're rolling really good. My pro players say they were really fast, so it's just nice to see that they're rolling well.
Obviously, you have to make some adjustments in your game, learn, get those little bit of lower shots as bump and runs. What do you specifically work on to prepare yourself for links golf?
Well, I think it's just trying to figure out the lines off the tees and depending on the wind, what might change, where you can miss it and, where you're going to put yourself. And, if you miss it on the wrong side of the greens, you can have really tough shots. So just trying to figure out what the golf course looks like. And then depending on the wind, you kind of have to adjust as you go. But yeah, just coming up with a good game plan as far as where you want to be in relation to the pin and, some of the lines off the tees to avoid some of the bunkers because there's quite a few in play. So yeah, just trying to find, the best game plan for my game.
Anybody questions in the room? All right. Anybody? Oh, yeah.
This is a big event, but how difficult is it not to think about next week and your title defence and the youth factor as well?
Yeah, I think obviously coming back to Scotland and I played Nordqvist about 2 weeks ago, brought back a lot of good memories and, there's obviously I'm excited about going into next week as a defending champion and it's just it's probably the greatest honor of, being a European golfer and having that trophy to my name. I think about it, but I never played Muirfield before, so I don't really know what to expect next week. And I never obviously played this course. But I think just, enjoying being back in Scotland and playing links golf and, soaking it all in. I'm pretty good at staying in the moment. So certainly, wanting to play here this week, gearing up to the British next week. But it's two of the most fun weeks all year, this one and the next.
So Kevin spoke to you about your field, just about the history and what a big golf course it is.
A little bit. I think he's played it maybe once. My caddy has not played it, even though he's from Aberdeen. But yeah, obviously it's just heard bits and pieces, but I think it's always different depending on, someone's who hits it a little bit offline might think it's very narrow or very wide, so I'm looking forward to see it for myself on Monday. But from what I heard, it's going to be a great venue.
Would have been slightly different to when the Open was there, obviously it would been a kind of just a normal day on the links, but was there still did he still get a kind of equal there and kind of recreating some of the shots from last year?
Yeah, we teed off at 5:00, so obviously it was pretty late, and we got to 16 at 9:30 because it was basically waiting every shot because it was very packed out there. It was the Sunday before the men's open. So yeah, so when it was two groups on 16, we decided to walk in. So I never played 16, 17, and 18. But it's always, ever since I played there in 2011, it's always been one of my favorite courses in the world. But yeah, just coming back there, I hadn't touched my club for like for a good 2 weeks before that, because I'd been back in Sweden. But I actually played pretty well, but I think it's just because that place just has so many good memories for me.
Defended major titles before. Is there going to be something different about next week? Is there an extra edge to it next week at all?
I mean, I just very grateful. I'm still feel like I'm pinching myself that I pulled through last year to win the Open. It is a childhood dream for me. I think as a European golfer, it's the championship that we all want to contend in or do well in, and to go and win it, it still feels pretty surreal. So I'm just teeing it up as the defending champion. I think that's, it's something that I'm very proud of, and no one can take that away from me. And, I'm just going to go in and enjoy it.
We'll go to the Zoom. Beth Ann, do you want to mute your mic?
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
I wanted to ask you just what your favorite part of the celebration of champions was at the old course.
Yeah. So I got invited about 2 weeks earlier, before it happened, to come play, and it was a really cool experience. I'd never been to men's major before, and just having the VIP access, getting to go inside the ropes and to play dining, I felt very uncomfortable because I felt like so out of place. But we don't get to see the guys a lot, so it was nice to catch up with a lot of the guys that I know and just see them. And I got to play with Colin Morikawa. What a great guy. So it was just cool to see see them up front, and it was such a cool atmosphere because there was a lot of people at St. Andrews that day.
And do you still have a wedding celebration coming up?
I do have a wedding coming up in about 2 weeks.
And is it, sorry for just the demographics, is it close to Carnoustie, or how far away is it?
Yeah, so my husband's born in Dundee, so it would be very close to Dundee and Carnoustie, and it would be the week after the British Open. So my mind is a little bit everywhere at the moment, but we've been planning this thing since December 2018 when we got engaged. So been postponed 2 years because of COVID. So obviously very excited. I've had my dress for a good almost 3 years now, so I hope it still fits in 2 weeks. So I gotta lay off the candy here.
And last question on that, how many people are coming to celebrate with you?
We're gonna be about probably 85 people. So a lot of people decided not to come because it's just being a little bit harder to travel, but our nearest and dearest friends and families are gonna be there. So I'm just very excited to get to spend the day with them.
Very cool. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So to change the subject slightly, Molly, the LPGA commissioner, said last week that she would talk to Greg Norman, Live Golf, if they wanted to talk. What's your views on that? Do you think that's something that obviously you've got the Saudi connection to the Aramco? Is that something that you would encourage her to do? Or what's a player's perspective on that?
Well, I feel like there's just so much speculation and media, and everyone's talking and writing and speaking about it and assuming things. So I've just been too busy, like focusing on, all the majors and preparing for my wedding and getting my dog over to Scotland. So I just feel like there's just too much talk about it. And I think we're just gonna have to see what happens. Aramco's done a lot of great things for the latest European tour with the Aramco Team Series. And, I feel like women's golf and men's golf is just so different places. So, I'm just excited to see the women's game in general growing and, coming to great venues, playing in the Muirfield this year. A lot of our majors, the AIG Women's Open, the US Open, Evian and KPMG all have significant purse increases this year. And I think that's huge for the women's game. So at the end of the day, I think we're all being part of the women's game. I'm just excited to see, more players having more opportunities because there's so much good talent on both the Ladies European Tour and the LPGA.
Just a couple more for me. We'll wrap this up. Yeah, let me. Yeah. No, you go for it. You go.
Anna, being married to a Scot, what Scottish things have you picked up? What do you do that's more Scottish now than Scandinavian?
Well, I would say I think the culture is very similar. I think us living in the US and being married to just a European in general, I think the culture and the values and stuff like that is very similar. I probably know all the bad words in the Scottish language. Well, both from him and from my caddy that I see every day. So it's a fantastic country. I've obviously had the opportunity to come here even before we started dating and playing golf, but I feel like seeing Scotland, through the locals' eyes, it is a little bit different than just coming here for golf. And I really embraced that opportunity. Our dog is here for the summer, so he's certainly enjoying a little bit of fresh air. But people are very nice. I love the food.
You like a good Scottish diet, do you?
I love fish and chips, so now I can't eat fish and chips anywhere but here. They have a lot of good candy here too. But just in general, I feel like I like the simplicity of things, and I love the golf courses, and the nature is beautiful. You have a good Scottish day with good weather like we had the last 2 days, and I don't think there's much that can beat it.
And I'll ask one more just about Max. How difficult has it been to travel with him over here, and who's he staying with this week?
So Max, our dog, wasn't allowed to come stay on site this week. I feel like there was a few ladies in the media center that were going to start a protest, and I probably would have gotten a lot of names signed on because everyone wants to see him. But he's with my parents-in-law outside Dundee for the summer, enjoying the Scottish weather and good food and good walkies with grandma. So I got to see him on Monday night, and I hadn't seen him in 2 weeks. And I was never a dog person, wouldn't look at a dog's place, but he's a little mama's boy, so I must have done something right. And it's certainly the best feeling coming back from the golf course and him being so excited to see you. He's an English cream retriever, so basically a golden retriever, but a white one. But it's been I feel like it's been a nice balance. I probably wouldn't get a dog maybe my first year on tour, but it's just been very nice to have a little bit more balance. And you come off the golf course and you don't think about golf because you have him there.
He's a very good boy. We wish his mom the best of luck this week.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you so much.